Hi, I'm Danielle, and this is Chatter Out Loud, a podcast where I share thoughts and TV commentary on shows I like to watch. Now, before I start, I want to ask that you go ahead and hit that like button, follow, share, and subscribe. This way you can get a notification every time I post a new episode, and you won't miss out. And thank you in advance. All right. In today's episode, I'm chatting about Survivor Season 42, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the cast. It's a very diverse cast, and that's always nice to see, so let's get into it. All right, if you've listened to my podcast before, you know that I'm a huge Big Brother fan. I recently covered the Celebrity Big Brother Season 3 that ended in Misha Cupcake Tate winning the season. And at this point in time of me recording this episode, the runner-up, Todrick Hall, he's in hiding. Right? And if you wanted to know more about that and the season, you can check out my previous episodes. They're all titled with Celebrity Big Brother 3. So while it wasn't the most exciting season of Big Brother, because it was a celebrity version, mind you, it was still entertaining to watch. And now that Celebrity Big Brother is over, I think there's room for me to pick up and get back into Survivor. In the past, I have been a fan, but I haven't watched every single season like I have with Big Brother US. And so I thought we have a little while before the regular season of Big Brother US starts. So why not Survivor, right? If you're not familiar with the game of Survivor, let me just share the basic premise. It's in its 42nd season. It's hosted by Jeff Probst. It's a 26-day event, and I believe in the past it was 31 or 39 days, but it's now 26-day event. But we'll see it play out weekly over the next 13 to 14 weeks, right? The episodes are edited. The game takes place in a remote part of the world. This year is Fiji. That's where they're filming. And this year it looks like it's 18 contestants. Although everywhere I read, when I read up on this, it always talks about 19 contestants, but I've only ever seen 18. So I'm not quite sure what that's about. And maybe that'll be explained once the season premieres. I'm not sure, but I'm going to talk about the 18 contestants that I looked up. All right, the contestants compete in challenges for rewards and immunity from elimination. They are voted out by their fellow contestants until only one remains as the sole survivor. The contestants are split into tribes, and they're assigned camps on the location where they're filming, and they're spread apart. As part of a tribe, they'll have to survive elements. They have to build shelter, build fires. They look for food and water throughout the duration of the game. That is part of the game. So the contestants are challenged not only mentally, but physically, emotionally. They have to survive the elements of the outdoors, right? And they don't have that luxury of being in a house like Big Brother, right? So they have to go get their own food. They have to get their own water. So it's really taxing to the body, I should say. They'll all have the same goal: to outwit, outplay, and outlast to win the grand prize of $1 million. It's not a scripted program. It's considered reality TV. It doesn't have live feeds like Big Brother. So rather than multiple times a week talking about Survivor, depending upon if something happens and is worth coming back on with an extra episode of the week, I'll be back once a week with my thoughts on the game, and I hope you'll join me and engage with sharing your thoughts as the game progresses. All right. So now that you have an idea of the basic premise of the game, let's talk a little bit about the cast. All right, like I said, there were 18 players. And again, everywhere I read, they kept mentioning 19 players. And that could be because it was early on when they released all this information. It was early February when they announced the cast. And I was so into getting prepared and getting through a Celebrity Big Brother, I hadn't given attention to Survivor as of yet. So it could be 18 players. That's all I ever see. So anyway, let's talk about the 18 players. Let's start with Chanel Howell. Chanel Howell. She's 29 years old. She's from Hamden, Connecticut. Currently resides in NYC. She's an executive recruiter, and she thinks that she has the tool set to win based on her occupation, and that includes her ability to build relationships. So we'll have to see if she leads an alliance on the show, right? She's great at building relationships. So that was interesting. The next person is Daniel Strunk. He's 30 years old. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio. He currently resides in New Haven, Connecticut, and he's a law clerk. He battled leukemia as a child, and he thinks that experience has kept him humble, and he intends to play goofy, not sneaky, and he's a huge Survivor fan. All right, the next person is Drea Wheeler. She's 35 years old. She's from San Antonio, Texas. Currently resides in Montreal, Quebec. I think that's how you say it. And she's a fitness consultant. She's never been afraid to take a risk. She's very successful as a fitness consultant. And she's set on whooping. That's how it said in the article, whooping her camp into shape. And she's going to make sure there's no drama. And I thought, well, good luck with that. The next person is Hai Zhang. I believe that's how you pronounce it. We'll learn how the names are pronounced once after the premiere episode. So I'm hoping I'm saying that right, but if not, I apologize. All right. He is 29 years old. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. He's a Vietnam native. He currently resides in New Orleans or Nolans. He's a data scientist, and he has lived a life full of adversities, and he finds solace in watching Survivor and has no intention of sticking to long-term allegiances. So that tells me he has no loyalty. He's just there to win, period. All right, Jackson Fox. He is 48 years old. He's from Pasadena, Texas. He currently resides in Houston, Texas, and he's a healthcare worker. He plans to play like a fly on the wall in the beginning, and any contestants in his way better watch out. Ooh. The next is Jenny Kim. She's 43 years old. She's from and currently resides in Brooklyn, New York. She's a creative director. She's looking for a change and hopes to use her leadership experience and use her warmth and innate trustworthiness as part of her social game. I can see that playing out. Jonathan Young. He's 29 years old. He's from Gadsden, Alabama. Currently resides in Gulf Shores, Alabama. And he's a beach service company owner. Is that like the people who put out chairs and, set up the excursions, like the parasailing and stuff? I think that's what they do, right? He participated in a Survivor-like reality series when he was 14. He has a physical presence, meaning he has he's muscular, or he's in shape, I should say. And he hopes to present himself as a friendly asset. But he has a shadier side and ready to cause chaos and trouble. Now, this is the person we need to look out for. So remember that name, Jonathan Young. He is planning to cause chaos and be a troublemaker. Yeah. All right. Lindsay Dole. She's 31 years old. She's from Morganville, New Jersey. She currently resides in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and she's a dietitian. She considers herself well-balanced and hopes to join alliance members who are just as outgoing, spunky, and straightforward as she is. So Lindsay could be the one that's speaking her mind, straightforward, right? And we saw a little bit of that in Misha Tate in Celebrity Big Brother, season 3. I wonder if she's like that. We'll have to see. All right, Lydia Meredith. She's 22 years old. She's from Fredericksburg, Virginia. She currently resides in Santa Monica, California, and she's a waitress. And when I first read this, I thought, oh, she's an aspiring actress, right? Because that's what people do. They go to California, they waitress until they get their big break. She's one of the younger cast members, and she's hoping to use her youth to her advantage, like becoming everyone's little sister. That's a decent strategy. The next person is Maria Sharon. Maria Sharon. Let me try it one more time. Maria Sharon. She's 47 years old. She's from Lansing, Michigan. She currently resides in Noblesville, Indiana, and she's a stay-at-home mom. She lost her brother to COVID in 2020, which pushes her to live a life to its peak, and she plans to use her experience as a teacher and a mother to hopefully not come across as a threat. Okay. Marianne Okech. She's 24 years old. She's from and currently resides in Ajax. I'm hoping that's how you pronounce it. It's Canada, Ontario. She's a seminary student, and she's here to prove that the quote-unquote weird kids can succeed on Survivor. She plans to weaponize her bubbliness thought. She plans to weaponize her bubbliness thought and warns that her talkative nature may be a double-edged sword. I'm interested in seeing how she plays in the game. On the commercials, she's one of the one they highlight, right? We're kids, and I can show that we can play too. So I'm interested to see that. Mike Turner, he's 58 years old, and he does not look it at all. Mike is nice looking. He does not look 58. He doesn't look 58. All right. He's from and currently resides in Hoboken, New Jersey, and he's a retired firefighter. He feels he's played Survivor since he was 5 years old, using his street smarts to learn how to act in any situation, and he plans to be nice, but hopes his voice will serve dominant in both volume and strategy. He hopes his voice will serve dominant in both volume and strategy. I have to go back and watch the clips now. I gotta listen to his voice to see. Or is that he just thinks he'll be a presence and people will follow. Well, we have to see. All right. Omar Zaheer. He's 31 years old. He's from Kitchener, Ontario. He currently resides in Whitby, Ontario, and he's a veterinarian. He loves the animals. He hopes to use his lack of outdoor experience to lower his threat level, but he plans to play much like the animals he treats daily: camouflage, observant, and sharp-clawed predator. I thought that was cool. All right, Roxroy Bailey. Roy Bailey. He has rocks in his name. Roxroy. He's 44. He's from Brooklyn, New York. He currently resides in Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's a stay-at-home dad. He doesn't like to be in the limelight, and he hopes to appeal to other contestants. All right. Romeo Escobar. He's 37 years old, from LA, California. He currently resides in Norwalk, California, and he's a pageant coach, which I found interesting. He said he comes from humble beginnings, and it's conditioned him to survival and adversity. All right. Swati Goel. I think that's how you pronounce it. She's 19 years old, and I think she's the youngest, right? Out of all the contestants. Yeah, she is the youngest. At 19, she's from and currently resides in Palo Alto, California. She's an Ivy League student. She's the youngest contestant, and she's just finishing Army National Guard. And she's not playing scared. That's what she said. I'm not playing scared. All right, Tori Meehan. She's 25 years old. She's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. She currently resides in Rogers, Arkansas, and she's a therapist. She plans to weaponize her vast amounts of psychological knowledge down to making strategic choices about what colors she's wearing in the pregame. She has a crazy and loud persona and hopes to get that under wraps enough for her to win. And I hope she does that too. I hope to see a little bit of it, but that does have a tendency to annoy people. So she could find herself being voted out first if she doesn't get that under control. So we want to see it early on so we can just experience it and say, oh, I see what you mean about being loud. But that'll be enough. And then she'll have to, keep it under wraps so she can win, right? And then we have Zach Wartenberger. He's 22 years old from Weston, Florida. He currently resides in St. Louis, Missouri, and he's a student. This is a lifelong dream for him, but he plans to lower his threat level and then swoop it at the end using his speech and debate experience to craft a compelling closing argument to win the game. All right, so by my count, that's 18 people, right? And I'll just say their names again. Chanel Howell, Daniel Strunk, Drea Wheeler, Hai Zhang, Jackson Fox, Jenny Kim, Jonathan Young, Lindsay Dole, Lydia Meredith, Maria Shuren, Marianne Okech, Mike Turner, who doesn't look 58, Omar Zaheer, Roxroy Bailey, Romeo Escobar, Swati Goal, Tori Meehan, and Zach Wittenberger. I did my best in pronouncing the names, so I hope I did okay. And again, by my count, that's 18 contestants. So if you're on YouTube, I'm sharing pictures of the contestants throughout this first episode, and moving forward, we'll just focus more on talking about the game and critiquing gameplay and all of that. But in this first episode, I'm showing you all of the contestants. So if you're on YouTube, you can look up now to see all the contestants. Okay. I'm looking forward to the new season of Survivor, season 42. It premieres on March 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Will you be watching? If so, please consider coming back and joining me as I chat about the season every week for the next 13 or 14 weeks, I believe. And that'll bring us into June. So there will be a lot of gameplay, challenges, strategy, alliances, building shelters, trying to build fires, tribes, switching tribes. There'll be immunity idols, fake immunity idols, emotion. So it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. And it looks like we have great contestants. It looks like it's going to be a great game. And I hope you're excited for it too. All right. And that's all I have. So be sure to come back, give me a listen, like, follow, share, subscribe. You can leave me a comment, leave me a message. If you're listening to the podcast, there's a link right on that landing page where you can just tap on it and you can leave me a message. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts, so check that out. You can find me by looking for Chatter Out Loud. I have this podcast, I tweet, I'm on YouTube, so look for Chatter Out Loud and you'll find me. Okay? All right, my name is Danielle and you're listening to my podcast, Chatter Out Loud. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, I appreciate your support. And that's all I have. Thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.